Hi everyone, welcome for our next session with PeteWarnock. PeteWarnock is joining us from United Kingdom, and he will talk about the embodiment breath. So Pete, over to you, and thank you so much for being here with us. We're looking forward to your sessions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, the embodiment breath. I think I need to go back to my roots of breath before I actually explain the embodiment breath. I came to breath work through experiencing a chronic pain. I had injuries when I was young, when I was 5 years old, and needed to find a way to come into a deeper relationship with my pain. And to not be on painkillers, because painkillers gave me tummy ache. And so I used to play with my breath all of the time. I'd sit up trees and just breathe. And I noticed that changing different tiny little aspects of the way in which I breathed would change the way I felt. Even just a little bit of tension in my jaw. So yeah, the difference between breathing with an open mouth like this and the difference between that and they're subtle, but they make a difference. And I got really, really fascinated with what the different subtleties do in my own body. And so I became my own experiment in my life. And I explored breath. I explored holding my breath. And I explored all sorts of different aspects of moving my awareness through my body. And I kind of forgot about that in later years until I actually had a nervous breakdown when I was in my 20s and came back to breath. I was on medication. I was on antidepressants. And I looked at a way of coming off antidepressants. And basically, a friend told me about meditation. I went to the meditation class, and just as I started meditating, I remembered everything that I was exploring when I was young came back to me. And so I became super fascinated with breath. And ever since then, I've been exploring breath in all sorts of contexts, from therapeutic, spirituality. The breath aspect, the breath goes into every aspect of our life. Breath is life. Breath is the conductor of prana in the body. We breathe in, we take in life, we take in energy. And there's a few different things that can come into play which enable us to get more out of this. One is where our awareness is, where our mind is when we're breathing. And another is how we're actually breathing. And throughout my life of healing my body and healing my mind and my emotions, I started to, as I've said, play with so many different kinds of breathing. And the embodiment breath just came to me one day. It was like it was shown to me. I was playing with my breathing, and then I was shown by my body that there is a particular breath that I could do. I discovered that I could make the fullest breath I could make with the least amount of effort, and it generated the most amount of relaxation in my body. And it may be different for other people, but certainly the clients that I've taught it to all find that it is a beautiful, beautiful breath for coming deeply into experience of the body, deep embodiment of the body. Because when we breathe through the nose, that has all sorts of amazing effects. When we breathe through the mouth, that has all sorts of different effects. And my experience of mouth breathing is it brings us deeply in touch with our feelings. It brings us deeply in touch with what is alive in here. And it starts to create a freedom inside. And the embodiment breath came about through me exploring how I can really deeply embody this incredible vehicle that we have, and I was shown that there are 4 aspects of this particular breath. And when I started playing with it and refining it, amazing things started happening in my body. Now, when I teach it, different people have different experiences with it, because we all have a different relationship with breath. We all have a different relationship with life. But most people find it a really expansive type of a space. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to actually look at how I've broken down the embodiment breath to teach it. And I'm going to take you on a breath journey using both the embodiment breath, but also there's a couple of other breaths that I'd really like to play with and share, because for me, breath is like a toolkit. Having different breaths gives us different toolkits that we can meet different aspects of our life. And our life dictates new things in every moment, and it wants new things from us in every moment. Whenever we go into any situation, our body can come into all sorts of states, and different breaths will help us deal with different states. So what I've been playing with over my life is discovering what breaths I can use in what situations. And so today's workshop is going to be kind of it's like a condensed retreat that I run. So we're going to put in 3 or 4 different types of breathing, which will enable you to start to access different states in your body, different energies in your body, and come home to different places inside, so that you can deal with whatever life starts to throw at you. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start to stretch our diaphragm. The reason why we stretch our diaphragm, I'm just going to move my screen up a little bit. The reason why we do this, first of all, is to get the breathing muscles working properly. Now, often when we sit at a desk or when we're not being so mobile through the day, our breathing kind of gets a little bit more shallow, and the breathing muscles don't stretch as much as they can. And over time, this has a kind of an effect where everything gets a little bit squashed, everything gets a little bit tight. So we're going to explore a couple of stretches and breathing exercises that are going to open this up for us. So if you have just had a cup of coffee or eaten food, then take this to about 80%. We don't want you being sick when you're kind of stretching your diaphragm. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to be breathing through our mouth. And I invite you to take a really big full breath in through your mouth. And then hold the breath. When you're holding the breath, take a little bit more breath in. And then hold the breath. And as you're holding the breath, relax the body. Just have a little wriggle, have a little stretch whilst you're holding the breath. And then take a little bit more breath in if you can. Hold the breath and just wriggle and stretch. And a little bit more in if you can. And a bit more of a wriggle and a bit more of a stretch. And then when you need to let the breath go, you just relax. Let the breath fall out. You don't need to breathe out. You just relax and the breath falls out. We're going to do that again. So let's take a breath in through the mouth. We're going to have an open throat, an open, soft jaw. Let the mouth hang open as we breathe in. Holding the breath, having a little wriggle. Taking a little bit more breath in. A little bit more of a wriggle. A little bit more breath in. We're really, really full now. And so now, holding the breath, you're going to push your tummy out. And then you're going to pull your tummy in and up. You're going to push your tummy out, in and up, out, in and up, out, in and up, and let go. The breath falls out of the body as we relax. And it's really key for the embodiment breath to notice that the breath just falls out. When we're full and we release, the breath falls out. We're going to do that exercise once more. So we're going to take a breath in. We hold the breath. we have a wriggle. This starts to free everything up. And then we take a bit more breath in and we wriggle again. Really feel into the back of the heart, behind the shoulders, really get into anywhere that it might be stuck. And a bit more breath in. Hold the breath, push the tummy out, pull the tummy in, out, in and up, out and down, in and up, out and down. Let the breath go. And just notice. Notice your body. Notice the sensations in your body. Just spend a couple of minutes. Close your eyes. Put the awareness in the body. Notice sensation. Sensation is only ever life. So notice the life. Welcome the life. And notice how you're breathing. Notice where the breath is entering. Maybe through the nose, maybe through the mouth. See if you can actually feel the breath as it flows through into your body. Notice where it flows to in your body. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to empty the lungs completely. And it's going to be like wringing out your lungs. It's going to be like cleansing the lungs. We start off with a full breath. So let's take a full breath in. And then as we breathe out, we're first going to let go of the breath. And then we're going to follow that with breathing out. And we're going to ha the breath out. We're going to make the actual sound ha. And we lean forward as we're emptying the lungs. And as we're nearly empty of breath, we're going to shh the last bit of breath out. Shh. When we're completely empty, we hold the breath and sit up straight. Now you will notice there is tension in your tummy and in your diaphragm now. So holding this breath, you're just going to wriggle and stretch like you did before. And then let the breath come in. When you release, the breath rushes back in. You don't have to take a breath. You just relax. You release the throat, you release the diaphragm, and the breath rushes back in. So we're going to do that again. We're going to take a breath in. We're going to ha our breath out as we lean forwards. We're going to shh the last bit of breath out. Shh. And then we're going to hold the breath. Sit up straight. Feel that tension. And we're just going to wriggle our body once again. Stretch, wriggle. And let go. You release the throat and the diaphragm at the same time. The breath rushes back in. Okay, we're going to do that once more with a slight variation. So taking a breath in. All the way out. We lean forwards. We're going to shh the rest out. Shh. This time when we're empty, we cough a little bit to empty the last little bit. Hold the breath. Sit up. Sitting up straight. This time we're going to push the tummy out and down. We're going to draw the tummy in and up. Push it out and down. In and up. Out and down. In and up. Out and down. In and up. And then release. The breath rushes back in again. And what this does, okay, actually, let's just close the eyes first of all. Just notice. Notice how you feel in your body. Notice the aliveness, the sensation. Notice how the breath is flowing into the body. Notice where the breath is flowing, where it touches. Where do you feel the breath in your body? Be really curious. Be really interested. Okay, so opening the eyes. Now, what these exercises do is they start to tone the muscles of breathing. They start to stretch the muscles of breathing. If you did them every day, your breathing capacity would actually grow. Your lung capacity would actually start to expand. And what it does is it starts to squeeze toxins out of the lungs, because the lungs are like, imagine you've got a piece of broccoli inside your chest, one on either side. This is what the lungs actually look like inside. They look like little broccoli trees. And they've got these tiny little balls on the end of each of the branches, the alveoli. And these alveoli, when we're not fully breathing properly, when we're not fully breathing efficiently, they can get a little bit saggy, they can get a little bit stale, and they can also accumulate toxins. Even though they're single cell structures, they can have a buildup of toxins and mucus and all sorts of things. And often when we don't breathe fully, we actually have a level of toxicity actually sitting in our lungs. So these kind of exercises can actually start to clear out some of the phlegm, some of the gunk that's actually in the lungs, some of the mucus that's in there. So if you do start to practice these exercises every day, which I really encourage you to do if you can, then don't worry if you start coughing up stuff, because it's actually about cleansing. We're clearing out the lungs so that you can actually work much more efficiently and effectively as a breather. So at the top of the breath, when we filled and then we released, there was this relaxation happened. And as the relaxation happened, the breath escaped from the body. Okay, now this is key in the embodiment breath. It means that part of our breathing can be relaxation. It can be passive, because often when we do breathing exercises, we're actually breathing consciously and we're breathing actively all of the time. Now, when we release to that place, what happens is the diaphragm. So imagine the diaphragm. I'm going to bring this down a little bit. So your diaphragm sits underneath your ribs, just up inside your ribs. Now, as we breathe in, the diaphragm actually draws down into the abdominal cavity as we breathe in. Then when we're full and we let go, the diaphragm just pops back to its still point. The diaphragm has a place, a still point, where it is not in any tension. Okay, but once we've released and the diaphragm is back into its still point, there is still at least a third, with some people even a half of a lung full of breath still. And so with the embodiment breath, what we do is then, once we've taken the breath in and we release the still point, we then empty. Once we've emptied the lungs, then the diaphragm has actually come up into our chest cavity. So the diaphragm, as we breathe in, the diaphragm comes down. As we release, the diaphragm comes back. As we breathe out, the diaphragm comes up and inside the chest cavity. And then we release. The diaphragm pops back to its still point, its resting place. And this movement from here to there is passive. And this movement from here to here is passive. So let's just play with that a minute. Let's just take a big breath in. Hold the breath. Notice that there's a stretch through the chest, and then just release. The breath falls out. You don't have to breathe out. But now you've still got a good capacity of breath still in the lungs. So now you're going to breathe out all the way. All the way out. And you will notice there's a sensation in your chest where the diaphragm is. you'll notice there's a little bit of tension in there. And then you release that. The breath rushes back in. Now, the embodiment breath is utilizing this entire process. So we take a full breath in, we release, we empty, we release, we fill, we release, we empty, we release. And in this breathing, the throat is open. The throat is just an open passageway for the breath to flow through. There is no tension in the jaw. There is no tension in the tongue. And there is no breathing happening with the throat. The breathing is happening with the diaphragm and with the chest muscles. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to break that full breath down again into different sections. And then we're going to play with putting all of those sections together to play with the embodiment breath and see what it does in your body. Because it's all very well me talking about what it does in mine, but it's your body. Let's see what happens in yours. So first of all, we're going to be exploring taking the breath into your abdomen, into your belly. So just closing the eyes, putting the awareness in your belly, letting your mouth hang open, letting your throat be open, and just breathing into your belly. It's as if there's a balloon inside your belly and the balloon is filling from the center. When your belly is full, you release. The breath falls out. And then you empty the belly. You breathe out actively. When you're empty, you release. The belly starts to fill, and then you continue to fill your belly with breath. You actively breathe in, just to your belly. When you're full, you release. You empty. When you're empty, you release. And then you fill your belly. And just playing with that in your own speed, at your own time. And if you start to get dizzy in this, then take the breath a little slower. Relax into the dizziness. Make sure that you're not standing up. Make sure that you've got no sharp things around you. Relax back into your seat. Or maybe if you're laying down, just enjoy laying down doing this. And you're just going to play with filling and emptying the belly. And there is an active part of the breath where we fill. Then there's a passive relaxation. The breath falls out. And then there's an active exhalation as we empty. And then we release. The breath rushes back into the belly. And then we fill the rest of the belly. So playing with that in your own speed, at your own time. And as you're filling and emptying your abdomen, really taking the breath into the sides, really taking the breath into the back, taking the breath down into the pelvis, up to the solar plexus. It's like you're filling a balloon from the center point of your abdomen, of your belly, filling. And then see if you can smooth that process. So there's not a break in between each part. Each part runs fluidly into the next. And on the next inhalation, you're filling your belly. But then imagine there's a balloon inside the center of your chest as well. So when your belly is full, then you start to fill your chest from the center of your chest. And then you release. And then you breathe out, you empty your belly, and then you empty your chest. And then you release. The belly fills. And then you fill your belly. Then you fill your chest. And then you release. And then you empty your belly. Then you empty your chest. Active exhalation. And then you release. The breath rushes back in. And then you continue to fill your belly. Then you fill your chest. And there's no tension in the filling. It's an expansiveness. There's no tension in this breathing at all. The throat is soft and open. The throat isn't doing the breathing. It's the body that is doing the breathing. And so just, again, finding your own pace, your own speed, filling your belly, then filling your chest. When you're full, you release. You relax. The breath falls out, and then you empty your belly, and you empty your chest. When you're empty, you release. The breath rushes back in, and you fill your belly. You fill your chest. When your chest is full, you release. And you continue. And you just explore that. And be fascinated with the quality of sensation, the quality of life in your body. Every sensation is life happening. Really welcome every sensation. Filling the belly, then the chest, and letting the breath fall out. So you're filling, releasing, emptying, releasing in your own speed, in your own time. Tuning into expansiveness. Letting this be beautiful for you. If there is any opposition or resistance to it, then notice that resistance and opposition have a sensation to them as well. They are still life, so let yourself enjoy those sensations. When we let go of any meaning and any story that we put on things, we can deeply welcome the life. We're no longer held hostage to the beliefs about them. Then they can be beautiful for you. Now on the next inhalation, you're going to fill your belly, you're going to fill your chest, and then you're going to fill your head. Now I know the lungs don't go into your head, but the energy does. So you're going to fill your belly, your heart, and then feel up as if you're filling to the crown of your head. When you're full, you release. And then you empty from your belly, from your heart, from your head. When you're completely empty of breath, you release. The breath rushes back in, and you continue to fill your belly, your heart, your head. And you release. And start to explore this in your own time, at your own speed. There is no tension, just a sense of expansiveness. If you notice any tension in there, relax with the tension. Be fascinated with the quality of sensation of the tension. when I was growing up with chronic pain, I had to become super fascinated with the sensations that made up the pain. And when I focused intently on them, I noticed that some of them were really pleasurable. And it was my story of the pain that made me suffer. So be fascinated with the sensations, the life. You're filling your belly, then your heart, and then your head, and then you release. The breath falls out. Then you empty your belly, your heart, your head, and just notice the different sensations of each aspect of the breath. When you release at the top of the full breath, that puts a wave of relaxation down through the psoas muscle, the fight or flight muscle, the main fight or flight muscle, and the main core stability muscle. It tells your body that you're safe. And the same on the exhalation. When you're completely empty and you release, again, it puts this little pulse of relaxation up through the psoas. Again, telling the psoas that you're safe. Telling your body that you're safe. Really deeply choosing to enjoy this breath, letting this breath nourish you. This is life entering your body. This is spirit entering your body. It is here for you, and every sensation in your body is only for you. It's only happening inside of you. So meet every sensation. Welcome every sensation as the gift that it is. And if there is opposition or resistance to any feeling, to any sensation, then soften. Choose to welcome the life in it. Let go of the idea of its resistance, or whatever the story around the sensation is. The story is only ever the messenger. The message is life is here. See what you need to do inside of yourself to welcome and enjoy this sensation, these sensations, this moment. As you breathe in and as you relax and as you empty and you relax. And you let this breath be beautiful for you. And we're going to start to get into a rhythm with this breathing now. So really starting to tune into the beat of the music. And breathing with the beat. And release. And filling belly, heart, head, and release. Empty belly, heart, head, and release. Filling belly, heart, head, and release. Empty belly, heart, head, and release. And just following this breathing in beat. It's an expansiveness with your breath. Being fascinated with your breath, synchronizing it with the beat, letting it nourish you. And each surrender, whether it's at the top of the breath or the bottom of the breath, let it be a full-bodied, full-beinged relaxation. Let it be beautiful for you. The mouth is soft, the jaw is soft, the throat is open. The mouth is open as if you were biting into an apple. It's nice and open. So there's no tension. And no matter what sensations come into the body, keep relaxing in and keep breathing, keep welcoming the breath. If there's dizziness, then relax into the dizziness and enjoy the dizziness. It is energy moving through the body. It is life awakening different tissues in the body, freeing up new energy, freeing up new life. Being really greedy with your breath, really taking it in without tension, but really filling yourself, and release. Really being in flow, in rhythm. Every breath is filling you with life. Every breath is an invitation to become more alive, to become more relaxed, to become more surrendered in this life. Let this life have you. Really tuning into expansiveness, spaciousness inside you. Filling yourself with life, filling yourself with wonder, with beauty. Really choosing to let this be beautiful for you. It is a choice. And if emotion moves, then keep breathing. Meet the sensation of emotion. Welcome that through. Stay away from the story that the mind puts on the emotion. That is the messenger. The message is life is here. Welcome the life that is here. Making every breath matter. Every breath is an opportunity for you to feel more and to surrender more. And continue to breathe in this way, just keeping your breath flowing, keeping your breath flowing. But allow yourself to let yourself breathe at your own pace. Really find what pace works for you with this breath. You're still filling your belly, then your heart, and then your head, then you release. And you empty from your belly and your heart and your head, and you release. But explore it at your own speed, really tuning into the spaciousness. There is a timelessness inside that we can rest in, and the breath can float through that. Really welcoming the breath throughout your body. It's like you're breathing with your entire body, with your entire being. And at the top of the breath, when you release, and at the bottom of the breath, when you release, it's a full body surrender. Surrender into whatever is there. It's like you give yourself completely to whatever is here, the life in your body now. Let it have you. And then letting go of this breath, letting go of the belly, heart, head release, and just coming back to whatever breath the body chooses to make. When you stop trying to breathe in a particular way, just notice how you are breathing. Rest with your breath. Be fascinated with your breath. Your breath is always your best friend. It always has been and always will be. The breath is our companion that never leaves us. Our companion that we can rely on. Wherever we are, whatever is happening, we can relax into our breath. We can trust our breath. We can let it breathe us. So letting your breath breathe you, letting your body breathe you. And again, being fascinated by being this. Every sensation is life. Every sensation is here for you. So discover what you need to do inside of yourself to meet it, to welcome it, to enjoy it. And this has been my path, and this is what I've discovered. It is possible. And also what I've discovered is this sensation, this life, is loving me. Can you allow these sensations to love you? Can you let yourself be loved by this moment? Can you take that in with your breath? If there is resistance, then resistance is still sensation. Welcome and enjoy the sensation, the life in it. It is all magic there for you. And you can just rest in life, in your body, in breath. And then allowing your breath to become a little deeper, a little stronger, a little more dynamic. Breathing yourself a little more vitally alive, a little more alert, moving some of your awareness into the surroundings, into the space around you, without opening the eyes, just feeling into the space around you. And then you can very gently start to play with opening and closing the eyes. If you notice that you come into your mind and come out of your body when you open the eyes, then close them again. Keep playing with opening and closing them until you can keep this sense of presence, of restedness in the body with the eyes open. So you're seeing rather than looking. You're seeing from being rather than looking from mind. The mind wants to name and judge everything, wants to know everything. But for now, you can rest. Rest in presence, in sensation, in aliveness, with the eyes open. And you can have a little stretch, a little wriggle, a little yawn, really coming back into the room whilst you're still fully in your body. A couple of big breaths, wriggle and a stretch. So the embodiment breath, it can be used in all sorts of different capacities. You can use it with really, really slow music. You can use it with really, really fast dance music. It has the capacity to create all sorts of different experiences within you. Now, I've used it for completely relaxing. And I've also used it for really getting me fired up. If I need to generate some energy in my life, if I need to go off and do something and I just need to be so full power, I'll put on some dance music. I'll do some embodiment breathing with the dance music, and it completely energizes me. So it has a full spectrum of what it can do for you, from the complete relaxation, turn on the parasympathetic nervous system, to the complete energize and turn on the sympathetic nervous system, turn on your adrenaline, fight or flight. You can really get yourself going with it. And it's not only the music that I find has the effect to do that, but it's also your intention. When we have an intention, the intention is fueled by the breath. So breath is an incredible catalyst. Breath brings energy in. And depending on where our attention is and what our focus is, depends on what we actually get out of it. And so we can consciously focus on getting really, really energized and breathe in that way and make that happen. And we can make ourselves feel absolutely incredible. Or we can, if we want to focus on really, really negative things and we could breathe really strongly and get into really negative things. And you can use your breath for taking you into all sorts of states. But when we know this, when we know that we actually have the capacity to change our state, and our breathing gives us the energy to change it, and the mind gives us the focus for it. So it's really important to know that we actually choose our state. And a lot of the time, we don't want to accept that we're choosing the state that we're in. We don't want to accept that we're choosing what we're feeling. But my experience of living with nerve pain every day, and of going through depression and all sorts of things way back in the day in my life, I've realized that what happens in me is when I'm down and when I'm kind of really in the doldrums, suddenly I'll catch myself and I've realized that I am choosing to perpetuate that. And in that moment, I have a choice as to what I do with my mind and what I do with my breath, and whether I want to stay there and go into it and stay in this energy, or whether I actually pull myself out and really come back to life again, So we have incredible capacity as human beings. And when we discover that we actually have the power, we give meaning to our experience. When we know this, then we have choice. When we don't know this, then we don't have the choice, and we're not so flexible in how we meet life. But everything in life that comes to us is for us. If we feel it in our body, it's for us. So we then have the choice to deal with that sensation, with that life that is here. And if we let go of the meaning and the story and the why and the who and all of the situation, then we can actually focus on the actual life, which is the thing that is happening in us. We can meet that is alive, the reason why all of that's come to us. And it's all coming to us to set us free from our conditioned thoughts, from our conditioned reactions. And breath is the fuel for this. We have the mind, we have the breath. They're two parts that are really, really necessary. So that was the embodiment breath. I would like to share one other breath with you today. It's a breath that is amazing for turning off the fight or flight mechanism, for turning on the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest, digest, and heal mode. And it's the most simple breath that there is. And for me, it's possibly the most profound breath that I teach. I absolutely adore it. It's my favorite breath. I invite you to close your eyes again. Okay. Take a full breath in through your mouth. And then you're going to hum your breath out. You're going to close your lips and you're going to hum, and it's going to be the softest, finest hum you can make. And you're going to continue your hum for as long as you can. And as you're humming, you're softening your body, you're relaxing your body, you're letting everything inside your body slow down. When you need to breathe, you just take a breath in. And then you hum again. But let it be really soft. It doesn't have to sound beautiful. It's not about how it sounds. The hum generates a vibration through the bones of the body. So as you're humming, with your eyes closed, put your awareness in your rib cage. Put your awareness in your ribs. And just keep humming. Now, you don't have to push the sound, the hum, into the ribs. Actually, the less you push the hum, the more soft the hum is, the more resonance and vibration happens through the bones. So just feeling into your rib cage as you're humming. Whenever you need to breathe, you take a breath and then you hum again. And you're trying to make your hum softer, longer, slower. As you come to the end of the breath and the hum, you may start noticing that there's a sensation of needing to breathe. Just keep humming through that a little bit. It's your CO2 levels coming up in the body. And actually, it's really good when we can challenge that, when we can actually relax as those levels are coming higher. And you breathe again. Nice big breath. And then you hum again. Feeling into spaciousness, feeling into expansiveness, and really noticing vibration, sensation in the ribs, if that's there for you. And letting go of any needing to do it correctly or trying to do it right. Just explore. Explore what is alive in this body right now without needing to understand it. life, sensation. And as you're humming, bring the awareness up into your jaw. See if you can feel into your jawbone. See if you can notice this vibration, this sensation in your jaw. And again, you're not pushing the vibration or the hum up into your jaw. You're just keeping your hum soft and relaxed. You're relaxing into your body. Everything's slowing down. Everything's relaxing. Tuning into spaciousness, expansiveness, and vibration. And if you don't notice anything, then it doesn't matter. Notice that you don't notice anything. That may still be a sensation. And if there is no sensation there at all, then be fascinated with that. And moving the awareness up into the skull, up into the crown of the head and the back of the head, really feeling into your skull with your hum. There is a real intimacy with the moment, with the life in your body. Intimacy is about our awareness, our focus, our perception. So you're allowing yourself to be deeply intimate with this sensation in your skull and with your hum. You're letting yourself relax with it. You're letting yourself relax into it. Gently moving your awareness down into your neck. And over the next few minutes, you're going to be moving your awareness very, very slowly down through the bones of your spine. In your own time, feeling into the bones of your spine whilst you're humming. Seeing if you can notice this vibration. And it might not feel like vibration. See if you can notice any sensation in the place where your awareness is. And see if it's amplified with this hum. If you notice that you go off into your mind, and just let go of the thoughts. Come back to focusing on sensation, focusing on the soft hum, tuning into expansiveness, spaciousness. tracing this, feeling this as it moves down through your spine, or as your awareness moves down through your spine, through your backbone. And for the sake of this meditation today, we're just moving slowly down through, but you can, in your own time, at some point, focus just on one vertebra or on one piece of bone anywhere in the body. Tune into that with your hum. Really get to know this bone and the frequency, the vibration in it. We live in this body throughout our life, and yet we very rarely put our deep awareness, deep intimacy into every tiny little piece. And life is an invitation for us to experience life through our body. So be fascinated. Really let yourself enjoy this sensation in this moment through this body. And now moving the awareness down into the sacrum, into the back of the pelvis, feeling into the back of the pelvis, allowing your hum to resonate there. Again, without pushing it, without forcing it, just allowing the hum to be soft and long and slow and tender. Back of the pelvis, down into the tailbone. Letting it come alive to your awareness. And then allowing the awareness to move through the rest of the pelvis, to expand through the pelvis, so you have this soft, gentle hum. You're relaxing through and with, and you're feeling into your pelvis. Again, being fascinated by being this, resting in this. Moment to moment, this is a miracle. And then letting go of the focus on the bones, spreading your awareness through the whole body. Vibration also passes through water and water makes up most of the body. So putting the awareness in the whole body. See if you can notice the subtle, subtle vibration throughout the whole body as you hum. It's as if you're effortlessly humming with everything you are, to everything you are. And then allowing your hum to become completely silent. There's still a really long, slow exhalation, and it's still going through the voice box. You can feel it passing through the voice box in the throat, but it's silent. The body's still relaxing down through it, still tuning into spaciousness. When you come to the end of the breath, allow the inhalation to come through the nose. Keep the mouth closed now. Doesn't matter if you were doing that anyway. Really doesn't make any difference. But we're allowing all of the breath to happen through the nose now. Long, slow, silent hum on the exhalation, and a long, slow, silent hum on the inhalation. See what you need to do inside to allow that to happen. You can just feel it coming up through voice box in the throat. And it's long and it's slow, and you're tuning into slowness and relaxation, spaciousness. And you're letting it be beautiful. You're letting it nourish you. You're letting it permeate every cell of your body, every aspect of your being, filling yourself with breath, with beauty, with wonder. Really finding a yes inside of you, a yes to life, to this. Breathing your yes throughout your body, throughout your being. And then letting this go. Letting yourself just rest in your body, letting whatever breath wants to come, come. And just noticing how that is, noticing how the breath wants to happen. Notice how the body wants to breathe you in this moment. And then taking a couple of longer, deeper breaths. Having a bit of a wriggle and a stretch. Maybe a yawn. Ooh, yawning is just so good for us. Let it be a full body yawn. Oh. Ooh. And very gently, keeping the awareness in your body, in your presence. I invite you to start to play with opening and closing the eyes. And if you notice that you come out of your body and into your mind, then close the eyes again. Just keep playing until you can rest in presence, as if you're seeing from in here, seeing through your eyes rather than looking out. So welcome back. Welcome back. I can't see any of you for some reason.
You won't see anyone, Pete. Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
there's two different breaths we've explored, and there's the stretches, and yeah, the embodiment breath is it's something you can use to change state, you know, and this particular breath is amazing. Even though it's a hum, it's still a breath. It's an elongated breath, and it in literally a couple of minutes you can turn off the fight or flight and come back to really deep, still presence. It's my favorite. I love it. So, Antonia, back to you, my lovely. Questions?
Thank you so much. It was so wonderful of deep connection, meditation, energy work, and environment, like you explained very well. So, yeah, we are open to some questions from the participants. So, we would like to ask Pete questions. We will be very happy to do that. You can just put it in a chat box. Just give it a few minutes. Yeah, very nice, Pete. I feel relaxed now.
I remember teaching this last technique to a panel of mental health doctors, and they were basically asking for something that could turn around anxiety really quickly. And so I did that in literally in 5 minutes, and they were just absolutely blown away. They were just like, "This is better than any medication we could ever give to anybody." You know, it was incredible.
Yeah. Is anyone? No.
Obviously, all enlightened by the session.
Deborah say, thank you, Pete. I really enjoyed that. Will these techniques be on Breath Up app, or are they already? I'd like to do them some more. We don't have. I mean, you can reply, Peter, if you want to.
They're not on Breath Hub yet. They will be at some point, but they're not on there yet. Yep. That's still in the growing phase.
Yes, we're growing. We are process. Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Anybody else? Oh, some people just say absolutely beautiful sessions. It feels hard to connect with everything you say. Yeah, thank you, Olena.
Great.
Thank you. So amazing. Thank you, Pete. And you can stay if you want to for the rest of the day, or you can in and out.
Yeah, it's going to have to be in and out. I've got a session on in a minute, so yeah.
Yeah, perfect. And thank you, Pete. And we will have now a short break until 1 before we start our next session.
Hey, thank you so much for the opportunity. That was really, really beautiful. Yeah, I just love sharing this. It's kind of the more people realize that they have the tools inside themselves to be free, you know, the world will be a better place. So let's spread the love everywhere.
Thank
you.
Thank you, Pete.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Thank you.